Welcome. Welcome to the podcast, The Coaches Next Door. And this podcast is a podcast that really wants to bring coaching to you in a simple way. And we have some episodes that we work upon, or I talk a little bit upon the personal things and how coaching can help an individual. And sometimes I also talk about more the side of business and corporates and teams. This episode, I want to bring something that I honestly think that is relevant for both worlds. Like, I tend to think that everything is basically for both worlds. But we know that sometimes our brain needs this separation. Like, what is professional and what is personal? I tend to think that this division is a matter organization of information. So it's not true because we are not half, but helps us to organize information. So this is information that I use in my business side, and this is information that I use in my personal side. But I want to bring I'm not going to expose a case, but I'm going to bring this idea of a case that I worked with that shows that this division is unreal and doesn't really exist, even if in our brain this organization of information looks like possible. I want to talk to you about relationships. And of course, this is a big topic, relationships. Everything is a relationship, right? The way that I relate with the space, the mic, myself, but also the way that I'm relating with you. And you are not even here in this physical, you don't have a physical presence, but I feel you from that side, right? And I can even imagine you listening to this podcast and what maybe you are doing when you are listening to this. So we are always in relationship with space, with time, with people, with the environment. We are always in this relationship. But the question is, how do we learn this? How do we learn the way we relate and we are in relationships? So, I had a client that came to me because he was with a lot of physical pain. And the motive of him contacting me was really this physical pain. So, he was already in some therapy. He did some different things, breath work, and was exactly one session that they did with a person, a breath worker, that called his attention that maybe he needed to do something different because the breath experience was very, very painful. So he came to me, we got our first session, and suddenly we explore a little bit. I use some hypnosis with him because, let's say, he's a smart guy. So he has this intellectual, very strong intellectual perspective of what is going on. So I use some hypnosis to get away from this rational explanation of what is going on. And we reach after, I think, 45 minutes, we reach a point that he starts talking about his father and the relationship that happens in the family. And, okay, so I asked him, okay, what can you right now detect the relationship between this conversation and the pain that you feel? And he said to me, I feel the start of the pain. So he was very good on detecting of the process also because I asked him for the session, like, I want you to track a little bit what happens. So the sensation starts with a nervousness kind of feeling, and then grows until comes the pain. So when we were talking, he said, I feel the nervousness coming in. It's an internal sensation of nervousness. And I said to him, okay, can we just check this? So we did an exercise with his father and him. And of course, we detected like, okay, we need to step in this relationship. And then he said to me, oh, Licia, again? I need to do this again because I already did so much upon the relationship with my father. Do I need to do this again? And I said, it's not about the relationship with your father anymore. It's about the decisions that you made when you were in that particular time, in that particular relationship. And he was looking at me like, you know? And I said, because I want you to realize, go to your relationships, because he has a business, he's a CEO of some companies. And I said, go to your business. How many times you are accommodating people? How many times are you avoiding conflict? How many times are you willing to deal with things that you know that are not the best ones? And he was like, again. And he said to me, oh my God, that is me. My mom even says like, doesn't matter. If we need to go right, he goes right. If we go left, he goes left. Says, so it's not about the relationship with your father, because it seems like you found your structure for that. But it's about the decisions that you made about people and relationships when you were in that particular relationship. And I said, I think one of the decisions that you made was, I will deal with this because I cannot change him. And he was like, that is exactly what I say. Every time that I'm talking about my father, I always say, I know that I will not change him. I say, yeah, and you believe that for the rest of your relationships. You even probably believe that people cannot change like that. And he's like, and he was looking at me, you see this face looking at me and saying, oh my God, seems like you are inside of my head. And it's like, I'm not inside of your head, but I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. And I'm feeling you. And I can see almost like the line that after this decision that you took, that you made, like, okay, I cannot change him. I will deal with this. I can see all the times that you are doing this. And he was like, oh my God, that is exactly what I did. So when we are talking about relationships, I see a lot of people doing work on the relationship. Like, oh, let's do something to improve this relationship. Irrelevant work. Irrelevant work. Because it's not about the relationship. It's about all the decisions that you made before. And all the decisions that you made that are going to spread in all the relationships that you have. And doesn't matter if it's professional, business, or personal. You will repeat the strategy. So, and this, sometimes people say, but why? Why I repeat the strategy? Because we are made like that. We are made to save resources. So if we have one strategy, why create a different strategy? Now, like, we repeat. And this is amazing. This is so amazing, because when you get to know the decision that was made, and the decision that, of course, some decisions in a particular time, they save you. They are the best decisions to make and to have. But upon time, sometimes that decision doesn't serve you anymore. And it's all about that. It's not that you had a bad decision, okay? It's much more about that the decision that you took, I don't know, when you were 20, probably now, I don't know, some of them, they can still serve you. Most part of them, they will not. Because you are in a different context, you are a different person, you have maybe different learnings, you know different things, you want to be doing different things as well. So paying attention on the decisions that are under your strategies in relationships are the point of change, are the point that can transform your life. Realizing the decisions that you made, and you are repeating them, and you are even supporting them, because if you say, oh, I don't trust people, yes, probably people will show you a lot of moments that they don't deserve your trust. But then is the question, is really people doing that, or are you promoting also that? But does that really matters? Maybe not. Maybe it's unnecessary work as well. The main thing is to realize the decisions. And the decisions that you made are the ones that are driving all your behavior. Because they become beliefs. They become your mental structure. They become your mental map. They become your mental net. So take some time to pay attention to all those decisions that you took and you made about relationships. What do you believe in when we are talking about relationships? And sometimes these decisions are very basic. Like the decision that he made, I will deal with this. So he's always putting himself, and doesn't matter what the other person did, I will deal with this. So he's basically doing all this alone. And then the other thing is that he calls this independency. And as that, you are not independent, you are just lonely. You don't trust anyone. You don't give even, you don't even create a small conflict with anyone because you don't trust that it's possible for that person to change, even if you create a kind of a conflict. So my question is, how many times do you say, what do you really think? And then he looks at me again, and you can imagine, like, rarely. It's very rare that I share my truth, my real opinion about stuff. So how much can we achieve when we realize that, wow, one simple decision, one simple thing that I made, and I made that my belief, like this man did, how I will deal with that simple thing. How much trouble, how much pain is bringing. So my challenge to you is that you really stop 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and just realize What are the decisions that you put your relationships depending on? What are the decisions that you can really see them in all types of relationships that you have? When you do that, you have the possibility of choice. You can say, okay, do I want to keep this decision? Makes sense now with my age, with my context, with the things that I want for myself? This makes any sense? If yes, keep going, If not, create a new decision. And please don't go for the negative one, okay? Like, oh, now I will not deal with that. Don't do that, okay? But think about what will be the decision that if I made the decision right now will shift all my relationships in a very drastic way. And in the way that I want, that will take the relationships to a point that is exactly the type of relationships that I want for myself. This is my proposal. Is this easy work? Probably not. Probably not. Because you are going to touch upon things that are with you and for a long time, most part of the times. And you are also working with something that you believe is your personality. This is the way I am. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. You are always more than whatever you think you are. Always remember that. But you are going to touch upon this idea that, this is me. This is my personality. This is the way I go around. So a lot of times people also ask me like, but if I change, I will not be me anymore. And like, that is not even possible. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot stop being you. Being you is not a thing that you can say, oh, now I'm not, no I am, no I'm not, no I am. No, but you are acting upon a lot of strategies, okay? We are strategy animals. We create, organizations, and we create like, this and then that and that. You create a lot of maps. So what you are doing, yes, is that giving up on some maps, some things that you know already. And you need to step in on places that you don't know what that will bring you. Yes. Are you being comfortable with that? Probably not. We tend not to know. So we want to make things a little bit safer for ourselves. But you will be happier. That is the thing, is that you will be feeling probably less pain. And you will be happier because you will step in the type of relationships that you want and not the ones that you know how to do. Can you feel the difference between the relationships that you want and the relationships that you know how to do? That is the difference. That is the difference that I'm proposing. The difference between you having the relationships that you want, the relationships that will make you feel joy, the relationships that will make you progress in life, the relationships that you will feel, I belong here. I'm home. Instead of the relationships that you don't know what is going to happen, that you feel uncomfortable, that you need to pay attention to stuff. That are the type of relationship that will put your nervous system all drain, So you will not have time to enjoy life because you are always paying attention to whatever could go wrong. Yeah. So this is my proposal. And it's time to finish this episode. And I wish deeply that we all go for the relationships that we want, because that will bring peace, that will bring joy to this world that we are in. So that is my message for today. Thank you. Thank you for listening. The Coach is Next Door. And follow up. We have new episodes coming in. And every month you have a new episode that you can listen to. And remember, you can always share these episodes with someone that you think that could be a benefit or could feel a benefit from these episodes. And we will really like to receive also your comments and your questions. And if you want me to talk about something in particular that will fit you or your needs or your curiosities, please reach out by email, by a message, by a comment. I'm pretty sure you will find your way. Thank you so much, and we hear each other. Take care.